Right, let's take you straight to Zambia, where Zambia's Vice President, Dr. Mutale Nalumango, has survived a helicopter crash in Nakonde. This is near the border with Tanzania. The crash reportedly happened shortly after takeoff during a campaign trip ahead of Zambia's upcoming elections. To give us the latest on the ground, we're joined on the line by our correspondent in Zambia, Arthur Davies Sikopo. Arthur, very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us.
Good evening, Paul, and thank you for having me.
Perhaps let's start on getting the full picture. What is the latest information you have regarding the Vice President and the 7 others that were on board the helicopter?
Well, so it so happened that around 16, 17 hours somewhere there, we just saw strings running on social media that the Vice President was involved in a helicopter crash. So later on, we saw the office, the cabinet office by Patrick Kangwa, the Secretary to Cabinet, Patrick Kangwa, who is coming from Cabinet Office, confirming that indeed the Vice President Mutale Nalumango was involved in a crash, but. Luckily, the crash didn't take place very far from where the plane took off from, where the helicopter took off from. And of course, it was still at a lower altitude. So when the plane went down and nosedived and turned mostly on its left side, we saw that the blades were completely off, and it was hanging on the other side behind on a tree. And later on, they were rushed to the nearest medical facility around there in Nakonde, where they were attended to by medical personnel. And we are told that they were certified to be okay. None of them had physical injuries, according to what we have been told so far. And even the Vice President later on came on media, as some local media called her. Our office, and of course she was live on local TV and on local radio, that confirming that she was fine at that particular time.
So as we try and get the details, what are Zambian authorities saying about the cause of the crash? Is there any indication as yet on what the link is? How did this end up happening?
So the cause of the crash is not yet known. I think the only thing that is known, or that has been seen for now, is when it was taking off. And gladly, I think there's one young man who captured literally everything as the Vice President was taking off, and even when the helicopter went down. So far, there is no official statement indicating of what really transpired. But all what people I think have seen is the helicopter going down and nose diving on its left belly and hanging on a tree. We have seen the Republican president, also saying that he had talked to his vice president, Madam Mutale Nalumango, and she confirmed that she was fine. Otherwise, not yet, no much information is known as to what really transpired in terms of whether it was a technical fault or whatever happened during the takeoff and for it to crash land like that.
This happened during an election campaign trip. As we try and piece it all together, how significant do you think it is politically with Zambia heading into elections? Could this incident alter the tone of the campaign, or even perhaps influence security arrangements for senior political leaders?
Obviously, I think it's just one of those instances I think that has happened. Some time back we saw another helicopter some years back. I think maybe 9-10 years ago, we saw a helicopter which was carrying media people, and that were covering the then president of the Republic of Zambia, which also sort of went down in a similar fashion. So we do not know whether this could be connected to politics or anything like that. But this is the second time I think we are seeing in a campaign trail where such an incident is happening. And I think the mood out there is that I think Zambia has been quite peaceful. So probably maybe we may not expect something magical coming from from the political scene. But all in all, I think people are just being told to keep calm as the investigations of this particular incidents are taking shape. And of course, as the country goes west to the polls, obviously there's need obviously by authorities noting that this particular incident that has happened. Obviously, there's need of us to tighten security and of course look into the machines that they use both on air and of course on land.
Is there an indication, very quickly before we let you go, Arthur, on who will be tasked with investigating the crash? I mean, is it an incident where Zambian authorities are saying that Zambia's aviation authorities saying they'll handle it themselves, or has there been any information as they try and establish what exactly happened here?
So what we have right now is that I think it is the Zambian authorities through obviously the aviation sector, and of course because that helicopter belongs to the Zambia Air Force. Obviously, the Zambia Air Force will come in and institute all those investigations. Obviously, maybe assisted by police officers and other investigative wings around. We haven't yet gotten details in terms of maybe there could be maybe some auxiliary investigators being called in. So far, what we know is that I think the Zambian authorities, of course, through the Zambian Air Force, and of course, other investigative wings, obviously, are the ones that are going to start with this particular investigations, unless they find something maybe unusual, maybe something that maybe they cannot handle. Maybe that is when maybe they can call for maybe auxiliary support. But obviously, for now, they will obviously maybe handle it as a Zambian authority.
Very well. Thank you very much. Our correspondent in Zambia, Arthur Davies Sikopo, giving us the details on what is essentially a developing story as we wait to hear what may have caused the plane crash with Zambia's Vice President, Dr. Mutale Nalumango, who survived that crash in Nakonde near the border with Tanzania. We continue, of course, to bring you more on the other side of this.
Africa's place in a changing world. Africa World Hour with Mutale. Follow live on YouTube, X, and Facebook. Channel Africa, the African perspective.